Hello, I'm Dale Sung, and I'm going to walk through how to set up Zoom as a virtual classroom. I coordinate the online learning for the Adelaide Rural Clinical School, where we use Zoom for teaching on a daily basis. So this is a picture of Dr. Shirley Staven and our IT support, Saqib Chowdhury, giving a Zoom tutorial for Year 5 Pediatrics to our rural students. Up here you can see on the screen. We've been using Zoom for all our teaching since 2015, and we've found it to be really reliable. It's well supported by ITDS and Zoom Support. It's accessible for students and staff from almost anywhere, even from some of our rural hospitals. And importantly, it's easy to use. So this video will provide instructions on how to set up Zoom for use as a virtual classroom. I'm going to go over how to log in, setting up a permanent link to your own room, and other settings to enable recordings and facilitation of your teaching session. So the university has a full license for Zoom, so all staff and students can log in with their uni credentials and access all the functionality. You do want to use a computer or laptop with a decent camera and microphone. So most modern laptops are fine. If you have a desktop, you might need to use an external webcam, and we recommend this Logitech webcam here. So you can install Zoom on your computer, laptop, or mobile. You need to go to adelaide.zoom.us/download and follow the instructions, or you can download it from the App Store or from Google Play. Just be a little bit careful of your data usage because it is video going up and down, so try and use Wi-Fi if you can. You'll then need to sign in once you've installed the software, and we want to sign in with SSO so we can use our uni credentials. Choose the company domain name Adelaide and then use your uni ID and password. And if you have any trouble, please call the ITDS help desk on 8313 3000 and they'll talk you through it over the phone. Okay, so once you've actually installed Zoom and managed to log in and have it looking like this with your corporate account, what we want to do is edit our settings. So we're going to click on your profile in the top right and go down to My Profile, and that's going to take us to the Zoom web portal where we can actually configure all of our settings. You can change your profile picture to a picture of you, and you can also edit your details, including adding your phone number. What we want to do now is set up our personal meeting ID. So you can go edit and you can actually put your own 10-digit personal meeting ID in. What I've done is actually get as close to my mobile phone number as possible. You can't have a 0 as the leading number, so I've just gone with a 9, but then the rest of my number is my mobile phone number so that it's easy for me to remember. And then save changes there. And then you can create a personal link and you can customize that. And as you can see, what I've done is gone with my name, first name dot last name, like in my email, and that makes it easy for students to access your room. So all they have to do then to join your virtual classroom is actually type in your name, so dale.sung or whatever it might be. You can also share that link in your My Uni course so that that becomes the link to your virtual classroom. Whenever you're giving a tutorial, they can just log into My Uni, click that, and they'll get taken straight into the tutorial room. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at are the general meeting settings. So what we want to do is go down to settings here in the left-hand menu. And I'm not going to go through every single one. I'm just going to point out the ones that you might want to change. You can look at my settings and also make your own decisions on these settings. So host video, so start meeting with the host video on. So that means when you go into the classroom, your video will be on straight away. I recommend you turn that on. I also recommend that you have that on for participants, although they can override it. I do think it's nice to have students on video as much as possible, and we encourage our students and tell them they must have their video on unless there's a really good reason why they don't in the sessions. Audio type, make sure you've got telephone and computer audio selected. Most of the time people are going to use their computer microphone. If they have difficulty with that, there is a telephone number and they can actually dial in like an old school telephone conference. We allow participants to join the meeting before the host arrives, so the students can all get in there. They can warm up by having a little chat with each other. It's quite a good way to keep them connected too, so join before host, turn it on. Make sure this is connected so that whenever you schedule a meeting, it defaults to using your personal meeting ID that we just set up and your personal meeting room. I've got these ones off, so I'm not going to talk about those. Okay, now here's some settings that are important. Chat, make sure you turn it on. So that's the text chat, so that if someone's sound isn't working or if they don't want to interrupt, they can type and use the text chat. Private chat means students can chat with each other without you seeing it. Now we allow that, that's personal preference. We have a lot of conversations about professional behaviour in Zoom, and I'll share our little student resource on professional behaviour in Zoom in this module too. Not worry about so much about these. So polling allows you to give a multiple choice question to push that out to participants. Turn that one on, it's quite useful, you can play around with that. Screen sharing, you want to have this on, definitely. That's how you will share your presentations with students. And we also allow all of our students to share, so we have all participants allowed, and also this is if you want someone to be able to start sharing over the top of someone else. So we also allow that, and like I said, we expect professional behaviour from our students. So annotation, turn that one on. It allows people to draw on slides as they're presenting PowerPoint. They can also write on the screen, it can be useful. And the whiteboard, you can share a whiteboard and have everyone contribute text or images on. Breakout rooms means you can assign participants into smaller rooms. So you might say, okay, I'm going to give you 2 problems. I'm going to put you in breakout room. You've got 5 minutes to discuss them as a group, and then you can bring them all back into the main room and they can report back on what they discussed. So this is around recordings. So yes, turn on, you want an email notification when a cloud recording has been processed and is available. And you can see I've turned on all of those settings. So that's probably enough of a run through about general settings. Now let's look at the recording settings. So if we go into settings and the recording tab, you can see that I've turned on local recording, which enables me to record a file to my computer if I want to. Cloud recording, it records to ARNet servers, so it's a cloud service that we have access to, and it will email you the recording once it's been processed and is available, and you can then download it and upload it to My Uni Echo 360. So turn that one on and you can see the settings I've chosen here. You might choose to turn on automatic recording. So turn that one on, and then you need to choose whether you want to record it on your local computer or in the cloud. So we record all ours to the cloud, and you have got the option to turn that off if you don't want to record for some reason. It might be you're discussing something confidential or personal. Yep, so what happens is when we have this on, you'll see that the session is recording by a little red dot in the corner of Zoom, and then after the session you'll get an email with a link to the recording of your teaching session. Okay, so I think that's about it for settings. You're now ready to schedule a Zoom tutorial with your students. So you need to provide them that link to your room that we just set up, and you should test it, make sure it works by clicking on it and making sure it takes you into your room. You need to let your students know the date and time to join, and I would suggest My Uni is the best way to do this. So put it up on a page in My Uni, or have a tutorial schedule or an announcement. You also need to tell students to ensure they've got Zoom set up and working on their own computer, and get them to do test their audio, and make sure they're ready to actively participate in your new virtual classroom. Okay, that's the end of part 1. In part 2, we're going to go into a Zoom meeting and look at facilitating your tutorial and using the controls in Zoom.